I'd like to welcome all our viewers across Manhattan and around the world on MNN.org and our studio audience who are joining us at Manhattan Neighborhood Network's MNN, the Firehouse Community Media Center. My name is Rafaela, Ronnie Billini, co-executive producer, founder, and host of the Art Settlers of New York. Here at MNN's Firehouse in the heart of El Barrio, East Harlem, we are kicking off the celebration of Black History Month. This exhibit will be on display at the Luisa Capetillo Art Gallery located in the lobby of the Firehouse at 175 East 104th Street between Lexington and 3rd Avenues. We are especially proud that we will be presenting Anna Charles and her photograph exhibit, I Think You're Pretty. Anna is presently a production coordinator at MNN's main studio on West 59th Street. So it gives us great joy to be able to display this exhibit of one of the MNN family. Anna Auguste Charles was born in Brooklyn and then moved to Haiti immediately after. At the age of 7, she returned to Brooklyn with her mother, Ciceda, and her sister. She has a passion for storytelling through the arts and obtained her Bachelor in Science in Communications Technology from York University, CUNY. She is a self-taught photographer, and this exhibit of photographs is a vivid demonstration of her loving embrace of a tool, the camera, portraying the beauty of the women who generously shared and shred their inhibitions to model for Anna for I Think You're Pretty. Her future goals include producing a photography book from this project and to also create more projects with podcasts and photography on the topic of trauma. In Anna's own words, she has stated that I Think You're Pretty is a photography project which focuses on dark-skinned women from all walks of life who struggled with America's light is right beauty standard. She created this project because she was tired of seeing women like her told that they were not good enough to be accepted and loved. For Anna, it was a culture shock, having grown up in Haiti, where all she saw were beautiful dark-skinned women, and be told that her natural looks shouldn't be accepted. In I Think You're Pretty, she asks her models to write a letter to themselves addressing their beauty, acceptance, and love. In a time where finally the issue of black skin color and hair texture is definitely differently defined and now considered absolutely beautiful on a universal level. An example of this is the recent selection of a black woman as Miss Universe in 2019. We will be speaking to Anna about this journey and her experience as a child to the present, of dealing with the concept of beauty, but also how she has turned the prejudice and discrimination into a celebration of joy, acceptance, and recognition of the depth and breadth of the beautiful dark-skinned woman. I ask our studio audience to give a warm round of applause and help me welcome Anna Charles. So welcome, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Talk to us about your life in Haiti as a child.
My life in Haiti was pretty fun. I can honestly say that.
Fun in what way?
Fun as in, I was the type of child who lived in her imagination.
The storyteller.
Yeah. I lived in my imagination a lot. And some of the things that I used to do after school was like go play with the kids, with the neighbors, play with the kids in the yard, and we would just like sit in a circle and tell each other folktale stories. We'll create stories and just tell each other. There used to be times where we used to play church in the yard, like we'd just sit in the yard and
Were you the preacher?
Sometimes I was. Sometimes I was the one who was picking up offering made out of rocks, of course. But,
Okay.
But yeah, yeah. Sometimes I was the one who was picking up offering. But yeah, that was my childhood. My childhood was pretty fun. It was just things that kids did. We used our imagination. We didn't have much. We didn't have toys, so we did what we did, and it was just a fun childhood.
Was your family a large family living in Haiti? And what part of Haiti were we talking
I
about?
lived in Port-au-Prince with my mom and dad. When I was younger, it was just my mom, my dad. It was just the three of us, and yeah, my family is pretty big. But back then, at the time, it was just they were the only people I knew as family. But yeah, it was just that. And then my mom and I eventually moved to New York City.
Why was that?
My parents were separating.
Okay.
So it was just a situation where their marriage was falling apart, and my mom made a decision to come here and move back up here. Because I am an American citizen, and my mom is not. But we were decided to just come up here and start a new life in New York City. With my mom. Yeah.
So tu parles français et créole, hein?
Je parle français, créole.
Un peu?
Créole. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so how was that with your relationship with your father? So he stayed in Haiti.
He stayed in Haiti.
And you traveled back and forth as a child to visit? Or how was
No. A few years after that, roughly, I would say about 3 years after he died, he passed away. Yeah, but it was just, from that point on, it was just my mother, myself, and my sister. And we grew up just living together, and of course my many cousins and my aunt and uncle, and
in Brooklyn.
Here in Brooklyn, yes.
Okay, and you speak about a culture shock when you came back. What were you referring to?
The culture shock for me was just I guess America's beauty standard. I never grew up around the idea of you have to be light skinned. Like light skin is beautiful. That was not something that I grew up around. In Haiti, women are their skin is just like sun-kissed. It was just dark skin. Women in the market and natural hair, some skinny, some big, some short, some tall. We just had a whole array of different women. And coming up here, it was just like everything I was told was that I knew what was beautiful was not. And so that was the culture shock for me. That was just like, whoa, who decided this was not beautiful? Like, I was not beautiful. Like, people like me were not beautiful. Who made this decision? So that was a big culture shock.
Was that did that provoke some anger that motivated you then to get involved in using art, or in this case, a camera as a weapon?
It did. Mm-hmm. But with that came a lot of insecurities. Just experiencing that culture shock, and also the constant, people telling me, hey, my feature's not pretty. I was the type of little girl who I didn't want to straighten my hair at all. Like, I had natural hair majority of my life. I always had braids, and I always had I had dreadlocks at one point, and it was just and all these things. I felt like those were what represented me as a black woman, as an African American woman. That's what represented me, because that's what, if you go through the streets of Africa, women, they have braids and natural hair, afros, but that was what I felt would best represented me as a black woman, and that wasn't accepted here. And
you think so? In spite of the political climate and the Black is Beautiful movement, you felt that?
No, I did not feel like that was. Now it's being accepted, but when I was growing up, not so much. Mm-hmm. You looked at magazines back in the 90s, you didn't see someone as dark as me on the cover. You saw a light skin, even if the person was black, she's light or fair skin, not someone as dark as me on the cover, not someone who's bald like me on the cover, So you didn't see that. So yeah, that was just the experience I had.
How was your transition coming from Haiti, and then at the time, then you did speak French or Creole, and then how did you transition into English?
When I came to America, of course, I didn't speak any English at all.
How did you learn, through TV?
Through school. I was enrolled into like an ESL class, English Second Language class, and through that, I learned English through reading books, just even interacting with my cousins. That was what helped me improve on my English. Yeah. So it was.
And at home with your mother, your mother spoke English or
my
learned
mom
English?
speaks both English and Creole, and of course, when she wants to be bougie, she speaks French. So, so that was my. My mom speaks roughly 3 languages, and I speak Creole and English. And at home, I speak Creole and English at home, but of course, in general, I speak English.
How do you feel about what's going on in Haiti right now, and politically and the situation in Haiti with respect to the economics, and post all of the when they had the earthquakes, and still the homelessness that exists and the level of poverty in spite of the supposed hundreds of millions of dollars raised?
The government, I feel like, the government in Haiti, there are a lot of crooks. There are a lot of crooks within the government, and a lot of people that are just using the money that's being put into Haiti for personal reasons. And that's why a lot of Haiti is not growing. Recently, there was just a situation where with the gas prices in Haiti, it was so high that people couldn't afford gas to just do the simple thing, to just drive their car to work. They couldn't do it. And a lot of people, and of course there was a big rally and riot in Haiti, and I mean, the government is just crooked in Haiti. It really is. After the earthquake, a few years after the earthquake, I went back to Haiti to just on like a missions trip, and while over there, and it was funny too, because I think when I went back to Haiti, it was roughly 5 years after the earthquake, and there was still just nothing but poverty in the streets. Like the area that I was staying in, it was just nothing but poverty. There were people still living in like tents, huts. And you would think, Haiti would be much more advanced with all of the money that was put into Haiti to rebuild, but not much happened. Not much was done. But yeah, there are a lot of crooked people in Haiti that are in government right now. So.
Yeah, and even if you were to fly over like the island of Española, where you see the green and the lush mountains of the Dominican Republic, and then if you fly over to Haiti, where the devastation, of your forests, I mean, it's really heartbreaking.
It is. There are still very beautiful parts of Haiti also. Like, they're using, a lot of people are trying to transform Haiti, as in like make it more tourist spots.
There's beautiful beaches.
Yeah, there are beautiful beaches in Haiti. So go to Haiti, y'all, next vacation. But there are like tourist spots. There are still places that are, they're saying, what, we can rebuild. There are a lot of people just go back to Haiti. I've learned of people who came from here, America, and they said, we're going to go to Haiti and build. So some of them built hotels, built, small resorts, built homes in Haiti, just to, put a mark on Haiti themselves, and because no one else is doing it. So they're like, I'm going down there to rebuild myself.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. How
does your mother feel? Does she, she can't travel that often now.
No, she can't.
Yeah. But you have traveled, like in the past 10 years, many times? Or
to Haiti? I've only traveled once to Haiti in the past 10 years, only once.
After the earthquake?
Yeah, I was after the earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about this project.
Yes.
And the beautiful women on the screen here. How did it start? What I mean, you already said that you were responding to an environment.
Yeah. It came about, this project, I Think You're Pretty, came from just an idea that I had. It was just through frustration. I grew up with this, just having a lot of people tell me, a lot of people, like I was saying before, like a lot of words hurt, and they were saying a lot of words to me that hurt a lot. Just criticizing me on my appearance, criticizing me on my skin color, criticizing me on my hair, or the lack thereof. It was just a lot of criticism, and a lot of people. It got to a point where it really messed me up internally, where I became really depressed, and I questioned myself a lot. I questioned my appearance, who I was as a woman. I just questioned it because, I used to say to myself, if no one else sees what I see, then who am I? Like, how come no one else sees what I'm seeing? So it really made me upset, and I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I don't want to hear this anymore. I don't want to deal with this anymore, and I'm just going to do something about it. And this is what the project came from.
So when did you fall in love with the camera?
In college.
Really?
Yeah. I went to York College, and I studied communications technology. And there my focus was mostly on documentary filmmaking. But I remember one semester my professor brought out DSLRs, digital cameras. And I was like, okay, let me try it out. And at first we were using the digital cameras to record video, but then I would borrow the cameras just to go out and just take
But
photos.
the original SLR or the new version?
The the new version, the digital one. And I used to just take it out and play with the cameras and just take pictures of like at the park and just nature. And I really just fell in love with it. I loved just the idea of just still photography and just having one picture to tell a whole story. I just love that idea. So I was like, wow, I just started to gravitate towards photography even more. I started asking friends to take photos of them, family members, and people who had parties. I would just show up at their parties with the camera and start taking photos. But that's what I did, just to build my skill set. Yeah.
And what happened with this, with then getting the models, with this particular
project? When I finally came up with the idea, I sent out just like a casting call online on social media, Facebook, Instagram, saying, hey, I have an idea for this project. I'm looking for dark-skinned women. And if you would like to be photographed, just let me know. And, I offered the photos for free. And a lot of people, responded back saying, hey, yeah, I would love to be a part of this project. I would like to share my story too. So, and they emailed me, some of them, called me. I spoke to them over the phone, got to know them, and I finally, made set dates to take photos of them, and that's how this project came about. But I also told them after I take the photos, I asked them all to write a letter to their younger selves. And if they were to write a letter to their younger selves, what would they say in the letter? And
would you be able to share some? Do you remember what the content of some of the letters?
I don't have any of them with me at my hand. But some of them, a lot of them, like one person, I remember when she was writing the letter, she texted me, she said, this is harder than I thought. And I'm like, what do you mean? She said, I had to dig into like insecurities and things that I never thought that I would have to dig into. Like I thought I dealt with it, but I didn't. Now I'm forced to, write down these feelings. It's
a hard thing.
Yeah, it is. So a lot of people were just, they had to really dig deep. Some people, wrote stories, just encouraging their younger selves to say, hey, what you're going through back then is going to be better. You're going to get better. But others, went even deeper and, just talk about their own personal experience, like being bullied and, being told, you're not good enough or you're not pretty enough. And they just shared their stories in the letters.
Being bullied?
Yeah, being bullied.
For
their appearance. For their appearance. Maybe you're too tall, too short, too dark, for those type of things.
And that's still happening here in Brooklyn?
It's not even Brooklyn. It's throughout, everywhere. It's everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's not a Brooklyn thing. It's a everywhere thing. It's this is what a lot of, especially like young women went through. Like young women like me who look like me went through. So.
And talk to us about what how you want to expand this project. You said that you wanted to do a book.
I would like to produce a photography book with this project.
To include the letters.
Yeah, to include all of the letters and the photos that I've taken. I think this can go far. It can reach a lot more people. People who, I've had so many people come to me and say, you know, I wish I can share this with, you know, so-and-so. I wish I can share this with this family member. Or my friends, you know, my daughter's friend, you know, is going through this. I wish I can share this with them. So, like, I feel like the book with this book, I can share these stories with, you know, people who wants to see other people like them go through things that they're going through, and just, you know, can relate. People who can relate. That's why I want to write the book, so that, you know.
If we look at the images, I mean, it's just look at this beautiful image. How you used the background.
Yeah.
How did you do that with the black?
I used the black background for every photo, and I asked everyone to wear like a black top.
Okay.
I feel like black is such a mute color, and like everyone's skin just shine through all of that. So that's why I asked, you know, a lot of people. Well, she wore white, but, you know, mostly everyone wore black for the photographs.
And red lipstick.
I asked everyone to have like bold lips, and just and yeah, it was the reason why with the bold lips, it was another story too. With being a dark skinned woman, so one of the things I was told by someone who approached me and said, "Hey, you know, color, like bright colors, don't look good on black women." So I was like, "Oh yeah," I'm gonna try to incorporate that in the photographs also.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so, and that's one of the reasons why, like, if you see me on a regular basis, I wear really bold colors on my lips also, because I'm like, come on, like, stop that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I chose like the big colorful lips.
So these are women of all walks of life, and you turned them into amazing, professional models.
Yes.
How was that? What was that process like for them?
For them,
to get them not to be as shy sometimes when you're not
some
a
of them were very
professional
shy. Like her Faith Lynn, the one in the African garb, she was very, very shy. And I remember the day she came in, I had music playing, and I was trying to like amp her up. I was like, "Come on, Faith Lynn!" Like, but she was like, "Okay, do I do it this way? What do I do?" And some of them were really shy. Some of them just came out. You know, they were like, "I'm ready for the camera. Oh, I'm ready." And, you know. And others where, you know, I had to kind of like direct them and say, "Hey, what about this pose? Do this, hey that."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like her, she came out. She was ready. Yeah, she was ready.
Yeah, you can tell.
But you can tell she's been in front of the camera before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and
but
her
even
also,
capturing this particular image, you know, what is she thinking? What is she looking at? What is she remembering?
With her, I asked her to look at me and I asked her to just look at me and just, yeah. It wasn't anything that she was thinking or anything. I was just say, "Hey, just look at me. I want to get a close-up shot. I want to be like more serious shot. Can you just look at the camera?" And she did. Yeah.
So they cooperated.
Yeah.
This one is ready, or this one is?
she was ready, but I still had to like kind of like direct her
Mm-hmm.
through the process.
So you had fun doing this.
Yeah, I did. I wanted everyone to be comfortable, just comfortable with how they, like, you know, with their posing. You know, even if it was just like something as simple as them sitting down, I asked them to just sit down and just like feel comfortable. Some of them were just like dancing to music because they were just enjoying the music, and then as they were dancing, I'm capturing, you know, their movements. So it was just a lot of that.
Was this like you said that you had been taking pictures of family events, parties, and because there's a difference between a snapshot and what you've produced here, and also the way you have mounted the exhibit here at the Luisa Capetillo Gallery. The way that was very creative.
Yeah.
Of mounting. What made you do that, or?
The way I mounted it, I wanted to I wanted, first, the photos, I didn't want them to be in picture frames.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted the photos to just stand out on their own.
Right.
And I placed them on wood, just pallets, and because I felt like they would just visually, they would just look great on wood. The wall, if you look at the wall is like very red and bare, and I was like, you know what, let me put something there that's gonna really stand out on the wall and make the pictures stand out even more.
They look beautiful.
Oh,
the wall looks beautiful,
Thank
and
you.
we really encourage everyone to see this exhibit while it's up. Now, you had also mentioned that you wanted to do a project on trauma. What were you specifically referring to?
Trauma. Under the word trauma, there's so many things that fall under that word for trauma. There's abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse. There's, you know, people who experience family members who have like died in front of them. There have been people who have family members who committed suicide. I recently started the project is not out yet, but I started like an audio project where I interviewed. I've interviewed 2 people so far. One person experienced losing a family member who committed suicide, and the next person is currently going through a divorce. So just different people, different experiences, but they're all going through this, like they all went through or going through some form of trauma through that experience. So
that's going to be more of a documentary then that you have pending, as opposed to a photography.
Not documentary, more of a audio storytelling.
Okay.
I
like
may
an
incorporate
oral history.
oral history. I may incorporate photos in it also.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we certainly look forward to seeing that, as I'm sure you will be able to bring joy into that project, as painful as it may be for the individuals you'll be interviewing or you have already interviewed. What do you say to the younger generation who have an idea and then want to use a camera as a weapon, you know, to change the world? Like you're trying to change the world with your photographs.
I hope I can reach the world, but I'm just trying to reach someone who's just like feel like they're not good enough. Just if I could reach just one person who's just saying they're not good enough and see this and just be inspired by it, then that I feel like my job is done. But for anyone who wants to do anything in the future, like let's say who's any creative young girl who, you know, feel like she has a story to tell, I would tell her to tell her story. Go for it. Don't be afraid. Because there were times during this project where I was afraid. I doubted myself. There were many times where I doubted myself, where I had to call friends and say, hey, like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Should I continue to do this? And, you know, and it turned out really well. Like, I got their support, and of course, you know, a lot of people just came in and helped me out. But you really surround yourself with a great support system, and really just know that you can accomplish anything.
Well, this has been amazing what you've done with these photographs, and totally inspirational. And the Art Settlers of New York wants to thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, studio audience. Let's give her a warm round of applause. Thank you.